I'm breaking out of the paradigm. Love and life and what I find in the paradigm. Walking out the gate, I find a paradigm. Rushing for the door inside a paradigm. Hey, how's it going? This is Marat, and in this video I want to talk to you about abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. Abundant mindset versus scarcity mindset. Why is this such an important thing to grasp? Because this can make or break your life. This can change your life in a very positive way. See, when you view life as abundant, then you never feel like you're lacking things. Even when you lose something, you still feel like you've gained. Now you might say, hold on, Murad, why would I trick myself into, why would I lie to myself? Why would I trick myself into thinking I'm gaining? Isn't that illusion? Isn't that ridiculous? And I'm going to tell you no, because you're giving yourself the advantage of realizing what is already the truth. The truth is that there is an abundance of everything in life. And you're focused on one small aspect. A difficult relationship. Your food doesn't taste good. Your kid yelled at you. You hurt your knee. You think you're constantly losing. But the thing is that focus on what you're losing is what attracts more loss. And you focus more on it. And it becomes this loop, this cycle, this infinite loop of everything stinks and life's not good enough, and things keep happening that way, and it just keeps going in this infinite loop. Okay, so I'm going to go over some notes that have to do with the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundant mindset. And we're going to figure out, I'm going to give you ideas and thoughts to ruminate on so you can start to slowly notice when you're in scarcity and learn to let that go. Learn to be like, you know what? I choose to be abundant. I choose to be happy with what I have rather than unhappy with what I don't have. It's a choice at the end of the day. And that's what I want to point you towards. The choice. That the choice is yours. Shout out to Stick Figure for that song. Let's get into the scarcity mindset. First thing on the scarcity mindset list, caring too much about the opinions of other people. You might notice that the closer you are to said person, the love of your life, your mother and father, your child, those are maybe the closest people to you, your best friend. Their opinions matter so much more to you than someone you don't know. But even someone you don't know, you still are so bothered about their opinion. They say something on social media about something that you feel strongly about. They go against it. Or they say something on purpose just to hurt you. They do something on purpose just to hurt you. They tell your girlfriend, that she's been that you've been looking at another at another woman and she gets mad at you. She's living from scarcity because she automatically believes it. She doesn't trust it. She doesn't trust that you haven't been looking at another woman. See? She thinks she's not good enough. She thinks that she doesn't have it. Letting go of the opinions of others, the weight of the opinions of others, will put you into the abundant mindset. This is not easy. This is high level work, but step by step, try to notice when you put too much weight on the opinions of others and let that go. Thinking that you already know, okay? So we live in a universe that is largely unknown to mankind. And when you think you already know what the who's who and what's what, you're living in scarcity because you are not allowing yourself to be open to the possibility of more. And there is an infinite possibility of more, which means your knowledge is not infinite. It's finite. And unless you know that, unless you realize that you barely know anything, then you won't be open to receive more knowledge. You will be closed off, stuck in your little bubble of this is the truth, when in fact, this is not the truth. The truth is infinite. Don't live in that mindset. Thinking you're always right. This is the same kind of thing. When you think you're always right and you discount the opinions of others because they just sound ridiculous to you, notice that. Are you doing that all the time? If you find yourself constantly thinking that you're right and arguing against other people because you think they're wrong, something's wrong here. Right and wrong are perspectives. You might be right in your perspective, but try to notice it from the other person's perspective. Why do they view that they are right? What brought them to that conclusion? Look into it deeper. So, what happens is you become what's called paradigm locked, where you're stuck in your own bubble. So, stepping out of this bubble is breaking out of the paradigm that you're in. Kind of like your YouTube channels. You ever notice that YouTube always gives you exactly what you like? And then when it doesn't, you don't watch that video, or you press, I don't want that video anymore. Same with Instagram, same with everything online, you know? You look, it notices what you like, and it keeps feeding you that. What you don't like, it doesn't feed you. It's basically there to steal your attention. Notice that. Pull your attention towards things that you don't necessarily agree with, a different perspective. This way, you're opening up. You're putting yourself in a state where you're not necessarily attached to one single point, one ideology. You're open to perspectives that are outside of your own. If you're not, you're in scarcity. Happy when other people fail. A lot of us enjoy it when people that we don't necessarily like fail. When they make a mistake, when they struggle, when they fall, when something goes wrong, we feel happy. Like, yeah, they got what was coming to them. That's living from scarcity. When you're in this competitive frame instead of being collaborative, instead of being different, actually caring about people, whether or not they care, you have your own values and you don't allow other people's values to tarnish your own. You stick to what you believe in. You stick to who you want to be. This is living in abundance, being true to yourself. Is that how you would want them to treat you? If not, and you're doing that, then you're living in scarcity. Blaming others. When you put the blame outside of yourself, you're living in scarcity. This is because you can't understand the issue if you put the blame outside of yourself. You have to include it. You have to be inclusive. You have to be like, what can I do to resolve this issue? If the answer is nothing, then nothing. But if you can do something about it, then blaming someone else is definitely not going to help. Thinking inside the box. So this goes along with the paradigm thing. If you're constantly thinking what you've been told to think all the time, then you're living in scarcity. Got to look outside of your normal ways of thinking. Be creative. Dream a little. Write, journal, poetry, anything. Go dancing. Do something you've never done. Try some new food. Say hi to a stranger. Change your robotic routine so you can live abundantly. Variety is the spice of life. If you're constantly living in the same mechanical way you always have, you're living in scarcity. Restricting the love of others. This is a big one. You notice this everywhere. You're probably in one of these type of relationships. You're probably the one restricting the love of your significant other. When they look at someone with loving eyes, you feel jealous. You feel like you're losing them because you're living in scarcity. When they give someone a hug or a kiss on the cheek, oh no, oh my God. How could they? How could they love someone else? How could they embrace someone else? How could they look at someone else? Oh my God. Only you, right? Because if they show a little love to someone else, it means that you're not getting enough. That's living in scarcity. You think they don't have enough. You think there isn't enough to go around. You think it comes from them because you don't have enough. See, you think you don't have enough, but you do. The love needs to come from you. If you're abundant, it'll come from you. Comparing, judging, picking sides. All of this is living in scarcity. For examples, computers. If you're a Mac versus PC guy, scarcity. If you believe in one ideology and you're against all other ideologies, scarcity. Religion versus science. Religion sucks. Science sucks. Scarcity. Both sides, same difference. You can learn a lot from both. I used to be a science guy, no religion. Now I realize that religion is very important. That spirituality is something deeply rooted in humankind. Now I pray before I eat. Before, I would never do that because I thought, I don't believe in God. Only people who believe in God pray. Guess not. My beliefs have changed. Now I pray because I'm being grateful. And I enjoy being grateful. It gives me something. It gives me an emotional, powerful feeling that I need, that I want. Staying in your comfort zone is living in scarcity. This goes along with the other ideas about not looking outside of your own ideas, not looking outside of your own beliefs, not trying something difficult. not trying something new, just staying where you are comfortable in, is living in scarcity. Life happens at the end of your comfort zone. Have you heard that quote? It's very true. Being helpful only because it serves you. There's this really good show I've been watching called The Good Place. And this girl, Eleanor, gets into the good place, even though she knows she doesn't belong there. But she wonders, how did I get in here? I'm definitely not a good person, because she wasn't. Everything she did was just to serve herself. She never cared about other people. And so, this is living in scarcity. This will get you into the good place. Abundant mindset. No one is better or worse than you. Sadhguru says it best. The only teaching he ever told his daughter, the only thing he ever taught his daughter was never look up to anyone and never look down on anyone, especially me. We are all equal. We all have different levels. We're not equal in every aspect, but above all, above everything else, or underneath it all, at the very core of who we are, you and a cockroach are ultimately equal. Even though you have the strength to squish the cockroach, doesn't make you better than the cockroach. There's a Zen saying, the largest star in the galaxy and the smallest blade of grass are equal. In nature, nothing is better or worse than anything else. Everything plays a perfect intrinsic role in this wiggly world we live in. Alan Watts. Helping others when they're down. Generosity is a huge, huge, huge thing when you live in abundance, because if you're abundant, you have so much that you're overflowing. You want to give. There's nothing else to do but give, because you have so much. You feel like you have so much. And have you noticed sometimes people don't have so much, but they feel so abundant that they still give with the limited resources they have? And then you see someone who's super rich and they're just living in scarcity and they can't give. They can't give anything. They're just hoarding all their money. It's just taking it to the grave with them. Scarcity. You think they're happy? They're not happy. They're miserable. Helping those who don't help you, who wouldn't help you in a million years, because you're not judging people. You're not comparing. You're doing it out of your own love. You are taking your own authority. You are being authentically you. And in your authentic self, you feel so amazing, so blessed, so abundant, that all you want to do is give. Doesn't matter who it is. Good person, bad person, asshole, goddess. Don't matter. You have so much, they can all get some. Not following the crowd. People who live in scarcity generally follow the crowd. You know? Science fanatics, religious fanatics, any kind of fanatic. They're always following someone else. Following the teachers. Following some Instagram guy. Girl, you know? Always following. If you're living in an abundance, you're following nobody. You're creating your own path. You're finding your own way. You might take little lessons here and there. Of course, we all do. It helps us. From someone else that is at a higher level than you. But you don't follow them. You don't fall into the trap of living religiously by their teachings. You test out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You don't just read a book and say, that is it. That's the lesson. That's the truth. You try it out. Does it work? Do you feel better? Do others feel better? Is it helping mankind? Is it helping life? Is it helping you? If not, you ain't following it, not even if everybody's following it, because you're abundant. Your authority is your own authority. 100% responsibility. You take 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life. And if you want to take it a step further, you take 100% responsibility for everything that happens in all of the universe. Now you might ask, why would I take 100% responsibility? Not everything's my fault. Doesn't matter if it's your fault or not. What matters is, can you respond to the situation at hand? Will you respond or will you ignore it? And if you are alive and you care about this world, you care about this life, you care about the universe, you care about what gave you life, what brought you into this creation, then you are responsible. You see, if life didn't take responsibility, you wouldn't be here. Therefore, you taking responsibility is your way of giving back, is your way of participating, saying, yes, I'm in it, I'm here, I'm playing the game, I'm ready. A little bit goes a long way. Abundant mindset. Don't jump into the lake, If you've never swam, baby steps. You gotta learn to walk before you can fly. Baby steps. You don't need to be a master instantly. Nobody becomes a master instantly. All these ridiculous claims that you see everywhere in our culture, you're always seeing quick fix, instant coffee, get rich quick schemes, get thin quick schemes, get 1 million followers quick schemes. All of this is bullshit. Even if you do get it, it's not worth much. Easy come, easy go, baby. None of that matters. What matters is the road you took to get there. Little steps at a time. The journey is what makes the reward meaningful. Nobody cares about no belt. The UFC fighters, you see the highest level fighters, they're like, the belt, that's just a nice little consolation prize. It's just a cherry on top. It's nice, it's pretty and all, but none of that really matters to them. A really good fighter knows that the belt means nothing. What means something to him is the process that he goes through, that he committed his life to. What are you willing to commit your life to? That is your abundance. Opinions are opinions. That's it. They don't matter. Don't listen to other people's opinions. I mean, you can listen to them, but you don't have to follow them, okay? Don't take them as truth. Figure it out on your own. Find your truth. Going meta. This is, again, stepping out of the paradigm of what your preconceived ideologies are. So, Leo from actualize.org talks about this in his video called Content versus Structure. And it's an amazing video, and I highly suggest you check it out. But going meta, in short, is like Dorothy looking behind and seeing the Wizard of Oz for what he really was. It's getting a behind-the-scenes look. It's looking at it from a bird's eye view, looking at it from a distance. Anything. When you look at something from a distance, you get a better picture of what's actually going on. See, when you're too close, you don't notice. And And that's how you get tricked. That's how you fall into the traps of so many ridiculous things in this world. So learn to go meta on everything. And at the highest level, you learn to go meta on life itself. And you transcend death. So go watch the video if that's something that interests you. No one owes you anything. Again, an abundant mindset is a selfless mindset. Is a person that does not put himself first. Is a leader that walks behind the crowd. Waits till every last person gets through the door before he enters. Make sure everybody is saved before he saves himself, or she saves herself. No one owes you anything. You're not special. Everyone is equally special. And therefore, you have to notice this. If you're the type of person that's always trying to get the bigger piece of the pie, and everybody else is doing that, we're all fighting. Is that a way to get ahead? No. It's like crabs in a bucket. Do you see that? If you look at it from a meta point of view, you're living like crabs in a bucket. Instead of pulling each other out of the bucket, you're pulling each other down every time someone tries to step out of the bucket and do something new, try something interesting. You shame them, right? Don't live in that. Don't live like that. Focus on the now. After all, there is no past. There is no future. Those are all memories. Past is all memories. Doesn't exist anymore. The future is wishful thinking, right? You don't know what's going to happen. Infinite possibilities. But you keep focusing on what you think will happen, and then you end up walking right into the hell that you create in your mind. Scarcity mindset. So focus on the now. Focus on what you want now. How much you want it. Focus on positives, what you want. Not what you don't want, not he said, she said bullshit. Right? And lastly, be generous, selfless, give more. When you're abundant, you give. An abundant person gives, and in turn receives 10 times more. But he's not giving to receive 10 times more. See, if you're giving just to receive, you won't receive anything. You think the world, the universe, this amazing creation that brought you into this world is stupid? It's not stupid. You're silly for thinking it's stupid. You're being stupid thinking that life is stupid, thinking animals are stupid, thinking trees are dumb. Nothing's dumb. Give more, take less. Take what is necessary, what is needed. 99% of the things you want are not needed. So realize when you're just taking for the sake of taking, try to give more. A giver receives and learns how to give gracefully and receive gracefully. And this in Chinese, I think it's Chinese, correct me if I'm wrong, is called Sada. The grateful, the generous giver, receiver, something like that. So there you have it. Scarcity mindset versus abundant mindset. Hope you enjoyed that. Much love. And keep on living and loving and leveling up. Break out of those paradigms. And I'll talk to you next time. Peace. Breaking out of the paradigm, and I begin to climb. I'm breaking out of this state of mind and feeling so sublime. Sun and rain clouds, it's alright, I'll survive another day. I'm breaking out of the paradigm and feeling so sublime. I'm breaking out of the paradigm and I begin to climb. I'm breaking out of this paradigm and feeling so alive. Sun and rain clouds make the rainbow to raise your love to the higher plane.